Imagine being handed nearly £1 billion and told to rebuild a football dynasty, not with expensive superstars, but with a squad so young it breaks 25-year Premier League records. The world says you'll fail, the managers before you, fired and forgotten, and every match, a cauldron of expectation. This is Chelsea's reality. But does boldness bring brilliance or disaster? And is patience the rarest currency about to run out? Chelsea's 2024-25 campaign was supposed to be another reminder of money's supremacy in football. Yet for all the headlines about billionaire owners and extravagant spending, the true drama unfolded not on the balance sheet, but on the pitch, where a generation barely out of their teens was tasked with restoring a fallen giant. With an average age of just 24 years and 36 days, Chelsea became the youngest team ever to complete a Premier League season. The world's skeptical gaze fell on Enzo Maresca, a manager with ideas sharper than some of his players' razors. Could his vision overcome decades of tradition, or was Chelsea gambling their future on unproven hope? To understand the stakes, let's step back. Chelsea was once a club where silverware and star signings flowed like champagne under Roman Abramovich. Since the 2022 takeover, the figures have been staggering. A net spend of approximately £600 million, even after player sales worth $270 million. The wage bill? Around £180 million for the season, enough to rank them among the Premier League's top 5. This wasn't cautious tinkering. This was revolution, funded at unprecedented scale. But what truly set Chelsea apart this season wasn't just the spending. It was a deliberate pivot from the comfort of experienced, established names to the unpredictability, and some say naivety, of youth. Owners and executives preached a new era, a longer-term vision, nurturing stars rather than buying them. The fans, however, grew restless. Maresca, in his post-match interviews, made it clear, "I didn't have any doubt about the players. The doubt was from outside. All the ones that have the answers, or the ones that have the truth, they were saying that we are too young, we are not good enough. Unfortunately for them, they have all been wrong." Colwill, Palmer, Mudryk, the headlines were filled with young names. But for every moment of brilliance, there was a moment of rawness. Chelsea's possession-based style dazzled at times, with an average 58% control of the ball and an 82% passing accuracy in the opponent's half, orchestrated by Maresca's meticulous blueprint. Cole Palmer, in particular, became a revelation. 92 successful dribbles, making him one of the league's most dynamic attackers. Yet possession, as any seasoned fan knows, guarantees nothing if not converted into wins. It is here that the intrigue deepens. Home at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea won 60% of their matches. Away, just 40%. The City ground where they clinched their Champions League return was a crucible of pressure, one that Chelsea survived, where even Manchester City and Arsenal had faltered. Levi Colwill, himself a symbol of this new generation, delivered the winner. The celebrations, though, were tinged with vindication and relief, rather than triumph. Enzo Maresca pounced on the critics. F off to all of them, because the players deserve that. The effort they have been doing is fantastic. But what does this all mean for Chelsea's long-term prospects and the business side of the beautiful game? A Champions League place brings Chelsea an estimated £2.8 million per Premier League win in bonus revenue, and their total squad market value is now pegged at an eye-watering £850 million, one of the world's most expensive and promising groups. Attendance averaged 39,500, still shy of capacity, and hints at yet untapped commercial potential. The club's global brand is expanding, but growth is measured in margins, not miracles. Behind the scenes, the real test is only just beginning. Chelsea's season was not a linear march from adversity to glory. While they conceded 55 goals, a notable improvement over the previous year's 63, they still finished with an inconsistent defensive record. The clean sheet that secured their top 4 finish was the first on the road since September. As Sky Sports' Laura Hunter observed, Chelsea's final day victory was the first time Enzo Maresca's side have won and kept a clean sheet away from home since September, a statistic that encapsulates their inconsistent form. Chelsea also played an exhausting 58 matches across all competitions. The grueling schedule, packed with domestic cups and European nights, demanded both tactical creativity and deep squad rotation. In this cauldron, Maresca's philosophy became both his shield and his Achilles heel. As tactical expert Owen Murda pointed out, Chelsea and Maresca's usage of the third-man principle is so important in the way they look to play in the build-up. not just in the low buildup but the high buildup as well, facilitating ball progression. Yet, when facing opposition with five-man defensive lines, Chelsea often looked blunt, an issue flagged by the Athletic's Liam Toomey. Maresca's system is designed to provide a numerical advantage, but that dynamic changes when opposing teams line up against Chelsea with a five-man defense, requiring tactical flexibility. The result? At times, Chelsea's youthful exuberance clashed with the hard-edged pragmatism needed to grind out results in the Premier League's unforgiving landscape. After years of instability and a revolving door of managers, the question loomed, is patience possible in West London? Fans debated furiously. Some, like George Benson, demanded tangible silverware alongside Champions League football. Should Enzo Maresca stay no matter what? Or does he have to deliver Champions League football and a European trophy to justify another season? Others, such as Vernetti from the Chelsea Fan Forum, urged for calm. Maresca should stay. As frustrating as he can be, I think it would be best for everyone to go for another season and see if both Maresca and the team develops. The opposition was no less passionate. Maresca gets his tactics wrong too often. He is not a team leader. He is too blinkered in his approach, argued Steve-08629, the kind of critique that makes headlines and tests boardroom resolve. This tension is not just about footballing philosophy. It's about culture, legacy, and business. Success breeds expectation, and at Chelsea, the appetite for instant glory is insatiable. The club's trophy-filled history looms large. With every stumble, the ghosts of the past, Mourinho, Conte, Lampard, whisper doubts. Is this new Chelsea merely a holding pattern until the next inevitable sacking? Or is something fundamentally different taking root? As the dust settles on the season, Chelsea's future teeters on a knife edge. The financial rewards of Champions League football are enormous. The prestige is essential for attracting new talent and sponsors. Yet, in a world where fortunes swing with every result and patience is thin, the pressure on Maresca and his young squad is relentless. Time and again, football has shown that investing in youth offers both exhilarating highs and heart-wrenching lows. Young players can dazzle with raw, fearless talent, only to crumble under the weight of expectation. The sheer volume of fixtures, the glare of the media spotlight, and the legacy of former champions form a crucible few can withstand. Chelsea's ownership talks of a grand vision, but their actions, managerial changes, colossal investments, hint at impatience never far from the surface. And the season's end is not a conclusion, but a crossroads. The qualification for Europe's top table is a relief, not a guarantee of further progress. The true test, both sporting and financial, begins now. The world is watching to see if Enzo Maresca can blend youthful exuberance with tactical discipline, forging a team not just for the next season, but for years to come. Yet so many questions remain unanswered. Will Chelsea's high-risk, high-reward strategy pay off, or will it collapse under its own ambitions? Can the youngest squad in Premier League history mature quickly enough to deliver trophies, or will the pressure lead to yet another cycle of upheaval? And perhaps most critically, will Maresca be given the time and trust to see his project through, or will he become the latest casualty in the club's relentless quest for instant success? In the next part, we'll delve deeper. How are Chelsea's gambles reverberating across English football and European markets? Can the new project truly disrupt the established order, or is a reckoning coming? The next chapter promises answers, and perhaps even more intriguing questions. As the dust settles on Chelsea's dramatic return to the Champions League, one thing is crystal clear. This is not a finish line. It's merely a checkpoint in a marathon of transformation, a journey that could redefine what it means to be a European powerhouse in the modern era. But what happens next? What are the possible futures that this bold, youth-fueled gamble might unleash, both for Chelsea and for the entire footballing landscape? Let's peel back the curtain and explore the road ahead, the intrigue, the risks, and the shimmering possibilities awaiting Enzo Maresca's revolution. The immediate reward for Chelsea's top four charge is obvious. The floodgates open to Champions League riches. Television revenue, sponsorship deals, matchday income, they all surge. The club pockets tens of millions just for participating, with the potential for much more if they can make a deep run. But here's the paradox. With each new prize comes greater pressure. As financial reports show, Chelsea's wage bill for 2024-25 stands near £180 million, a figure that demands results. Failure isn't just a sporting disappointment, it's a business liability. Then there's squad value. Chelsea's roster is now worth approximately £850 million, one of the most expensive lineups in the world. For the club's American owners, this represents not only ambition, but an investment that must appreciate over time. Champions League football is meant to be the showcase, but it's also a shop window. If young stars like Cole Palmer, Levi Colwill, or Noni Madueke explode onto the European stage, their value could skyrocket. One dazzling campaign can turn a prospect into a global brand and a potential nine-figure asset. But this path is lined with hazards. First among them, the expectation treadmill. Chelsea's fans, and much of the English press, remember the golden days under Abramovich, when trophies rained down and managers came and went like the changing of the seasons. Maresca, for all his bullish defiance, is not immune. His every tactical tweak is analyzed, every lineup pored over, every defeat a possible breaking point. And tactically, the challenges only intensify. Maresca's system, built on ball retention and the third-man principle, works beautifully in theory. But as The Athletic's Liam Toomey put it, that dynamic changes when opponents line up with a five-man defense. The margin for error shrinks in Europe. Opponents adapt, pressing higher or sitting deep, forcing Chelsea to find new solutions on the fly. Missing that adaptability could spell disaster. There's also the relentless pace of the schedule. With 58 games played in the 2024-25 season across all competitions, fatigue becomes the unseen adversary. Young legs offer energy, but squad depth is essential to avoid burnout. In games where the margin between victory and defeat is as thin as a blade of grass, one injury crisis or dip in form can unravel months of progress. Financially, Chelsea are walking a tightrope. Their net spend since the American takeover hovers near £600 million despite impressive player sales, a sign of their win-now mentality. Champions League income helps balance the books, but continued qualification isn't guaranteed. A single poor campaign could create a domino effect, leading to asset sales, a loss of prestige, and, inevitably, pressure for another managerial change. The specter of UEFA's financial fair play rules always looms, and failure to meet targets could bring heavy sanctions. Yet beneath the surface anxiety, there are green shoots of something special. The league's youngest team shattered a record with an average age just above 24. The defensive improvement under Maresca is real, conceding 55 goals versus 63 the previous year. Cole Palmer's 92 successful dribbles are a testament to both individual skill and a system that gives young players freedom to express themselves. And let's not forget, the attack is flourishing, with 15 different goal scorers across the season, a sign that this is far from a one-man show. There's another wild card on the horizon, the Club World Cup. For the first time, Chelsea will join a reimagined tournament stacked with global heavyweights, a unique stage to elevate their brand, test their depth and strategy, and reap significant financial rewards. Success would elevate Chelsea from English contenders to global kings, but the risks are just as high. The relentless fixture congestion will stretch every resource and test Maresca's squad management to the limit. So, what determines whether this revolution takes root or self-destructs? The answer lies in two rare and often conflicting traits: patience and adaptability. As tactical analyst Owen Murda notes, Chelsea's build-up play is designed to create passing triangles and third-man runs in every area of the pitch. But against Europe's elite, patterns must be adjusted in real time. Patience is perhaps the hardest commodity to acquire. Fans dream of glory today, not tomorrow. Yet, as one fan forum commentator put it, Maresca should stay. As frustrating as he can be, it would be best for everyone to go another season and see if both Maresca and the team develop. But that's not a given. The club's recent history is littered with the remains of abandoned projects, coaches swiftly replaced, philosophies discarded at the first sign of trouble. If the results falter or the table position slips, the calls for change will come again, as audible as ever. The challenge for Chelsea's owners is to resist that temptation, to trust their own rhetoric of a long-term project and back Maresca and his young squad through the inevitable growing pains. So, what practical lessons can be drawn from this turbulent yet exhilarating ride, both for Chelsea and for anyone watching with dreams of building something new? First, genuine transformation requires more than just money. Chelsea's vast transfer outlay and sky-high wages deliver star names, but cohesion and identity come from clear vision and the courage to trust in it. Whether you're running a club, a business, or even managing your own goals, the lesson is the same. Invest wisely, but build a culture where people can grow, fail, and ultimately thrive. Second, patience and process trump panic and perfectionism. It's tempting to rip up the blueprint at the first setback. But as Chelsea's improvement in defense and the breakout performances of Palmer and others demonstrate, young teams improve by playing, failing, and learning. Allowing time for evolution, while holding leadership accountable in the right ways, often brings rewards richer than short-term fixes ever could. Third, tactical flexibility is non-negotiable at the elite level. Maresca's possession-based system dazzles in moments, but elite rivals will target weaknesses ruthlessly. Whether in football or beyond, sticking dogmatically to a single approach spells stagnation. Learn, adapt, iterate. That's what separates innovators from imitators. Fourth, depth isn't just about numbers, it's about readiness. Over a grueling 58-game campaign, roles will shift. Young players must seize opportunities, while experienced pros provide balance and leadership. In life, as in football, building a team with both youthful hunger and steady experience is a winning combination. For supporters, the journey is as important as the destination. Celebrate the moments of progress, the emergence of new heroes, the resilience shown in adversity. Instant success may be a fantasy, but the thrill of watching something grow, however imperfectly, is what makes sport and life so addictive. And finally, for clubs across football, Chelsea's experiment holds a mirror to the new reality. The era of endless spending for established stars is fading. Sustainable success now means building pathways for youth, blending analytics with intuition, and trusting unproven potential. This is a high-wire act, but those who master it will shape the next decade of the game. So, back to the central question. Will Chelsea's youthful revolution flourish, or will the demand for instant results force another upheaval? The honest truth? Neither outcome is inevitable. The pieces are in place for something extraordinary, a data-driven, energetic, relentlessly ambitious squad, with a coach whose ideas are as bold as they are demanding. The financial foundation is strong, the talent pipeline robust, and the platform of Champions League football is the best incubator for stars in the making. But the future will be decided in the margins, by the willingness of everyone at Chelsea to endure setbacks, to outthink rather than outspend, and to keep faith when the going gets tough. If the club can resist the old reflexes, the impatience, the chopping and changing, it's entirely possible that a new dynasty could be born at Stamford Bridge. A team every bit as successful as the iconic sides of the past, but with a fresh identity rooted in youth, innovation, and collective belief. If the pressure proves too much, and the chopping block returns, Chelsea will simply be another club chasing its own tail, craving instant glory but sacrificing long-term greatness at every turn. It's a knife-edge decision, and the world is watching. And here's a secret fact you might not hear on the TV broadcasts. According to club insiders, during the tense run-up to Champions League qualification, senior players, despite being outnumbered by youngsters, played a crucial behind-the-scenes role, mentoring rising stars in closed-door sessions long after official training had ended. It's a reminder that even the boldest revolutions are built on a foundation of quiet leadership and shared sacrifice. No matter which way the story unfolds, Chelsea's gamble has already changed the narrative, not just for themselves but for every club daring to break the mold. The revolution is here. Now, it's up to everyone at the bridge to decide what comes next. If you found this deep dive into Chelsea's future thought-provoking, hit that like button and subscribe for more uncompromising football analysis. Drop your take in the comments. Will patience finally trump pressure?